Now let's focus in on the other icon state. So we can see we have the grade icon. It's locked down. We're reading this live group as it is on disk. Now if I go jump over to the new tab and start to use some of the attributes, just keep an eye on this icon. You'll notice this is the other icon state. So what this is telling us is that there is an override done to the live group. We're still in a lockdown state with the live group, but for the knobs that are exposed, we've made some changes to them. And this is a nice handy thing that you can see quickly right away just by glancing at the icon. It's also telling us on the knobs, represented by these yellow squares, that these are the exact knobs that have been overwritten. So if I go and make these changes, you can obviously see here. And we have some options that we can deal with when we do have these overrides. So I can right click on an individual value, and then I can go ahead and revert the override to live group value. So that'll set it to the default that was packed in with the live group itself. I can do that individually, or I can right click and do that to all of them. So I'll revert all the knobs to the default, and this is exactly how the live group was on disk. That little icon disappears because there are no more overrides on here. You can even do things like this. This comes quite handy if you're developing the tool, or if we're working with maybe not so absolute numbers like the 1s and 2s, depending on the type of knob that we have inside of here. Is we can actually change this to apply the override value to the live group and make this the new default. So in order to do that, I'm going to jump over to my live group. I'm going to have to make it editable. And then I'll go back to this tab, and now I'm going to go ahead and apply the override value to the live group. So now 1.62 as opposed to 1 is the default value for this. Again, I can do it individually. I could do it to everything at once, and now these are the new defaults. Now, of course, if I want to make this stick, I would have to republish it. So this is extremely useful in compositing situations, but also for tool development situations where maybe you think the default should have been this, but it makes more sense to be something else. Rather than having to redo anything else, you can quickly adjust the knob and then make that the new default. So I'm not going to keep it, so I'll just go ahead and reload that live group. Yes, and so we have this one directly off of disk. So another important thing about attribute overrides are the ability to go through versions and have those overrides stick. So if I jump back to my grading tab and I make some overrides on here, and let's say this tool gets developed further. So whether it's being used for a custom tool or any other type of live group, as soon as I change versions of it, so I'll go down in this case, or you generally would be going up, but all those attributes are staying here. So that means that these overrides are being done inside of this nuke script. It's not affecting the actual .nk, that is the nodes that we are reading off of disk, into the live group itself. So this means that if this tool got developed further, new iterations of it, everything that I had going on here will still stick around. I'm not going to lose any of this work. I can continue forward with it. And that goes not just for custom tools, but for whatever you have contained in your live group. So that's great. Now I can go ahead and begin to grade with this. I can use this, go ahead and make any adjustments that we want to on here. Let me just go ahead and grab this over here, and then make changes inside of here, and we'll see that reflected on screen. There we go. Maybe just change it to something obvious here. Okay, so what we're going to take a look at next is the ability to use live groups as sort of a style of an asset manager.